streams on Facebook this time.
What's happening?
And we're live. Hello, ladies. How are we?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, we're live.
We're live.
Live.
Wake up, guys. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
How is everyone?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I see the live button now. And we are live. So we're good. We're good.
We're good. We're good. So yes. Obviously, Andrea's just said, "How am I?" Obviously, I'm going to answer that at the end of here because I've got a lot going on. Which,
Oh boy.
yes.
Alrighty.
Yeah, but
Here
how is
we
everyone
are.
here? How is everyone here?
Excelente.
Excellent.
I'm good. Getting ready to go to a gala.
Ooh, girl, you going to a gala? What you gonna
Yes,
wear?
I get to dress all up like I get to dress up and stuff. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Is it? I'm not a fan. I don't like shopping. I don't like getting dressed up. I don't like makeup and jewelry. I'm just keeping it simple.
I make it simple. I don't do all. I do a little lipstick or something. I'm already, I like to dress up though.
I hear
I
you.
do.
I hear you.
There's Andrea saying,
But I don't wear heels. Yes. Yes, I'm getting ready for the gala, baby. So let's start here with y'all wonderful, lovely people.
Ladies
Y'all
and
get
gentlemen,
me?
like this page, share, subscribe. Let's support the Warriors.
Yes, support the Warriors.
So tonight we have got Andrea playing hide and seek, but we're also got Miss Liz is back, and we're going to be discussing the impact of conversion disorder.
Ooh.
Which when she first told me about it, which God knows how long that was ago, I thought she said conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but it was conversion. So there's a difference, guys. So I'm going to play our intro, and then we're just going to dive right into it. Which Andrea
The
is gonna
difference is
annoy me.
AT.
Well, Andrea that way.
Conversion or conversation. See, that's the difference. AT.
Oh.
I can't hear you.
We are back. Can you hear me now? What the fuck am I myself into tonight? I'm in for a roller coaster tonight, aren't I?
It's gonna be a bumpy ride, Adam.
I love that type of ride. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Please do share this. And there you go. Robert Brooker from Canada has already said this.
Hello, Robert. Hey.
Yay, the first giggles.
There you go. So, how are you, Liz?
I am good. I am stable. That's the best I can describe right now because my conversion disorder at this time of year does flare up. So I'm getting ready and prepared for the flare ups. But at this point, I'm stable.
Good. Good. I know Andrea's just been blowing bubbles for some reason. I don't know why. She's got her own personality.
Which Andrea are you talking to? Me or Andrea?
You.
He says your name right. You know who we talk.
I'm not stable today. It's Friday. I'm excited.
It's all figured out. I'm Andrea. You're Andrea. He's very
Chloe
careful
right now.
about saying it. So he was talking to you, Andrea.
Yes, I am unstable right now. I am happy. I'm excited. It's Friday. And I'm here.
Hey.
I don't even know. What have I got myself into? Anyway. So, Liz, all the way from Canada. I don't know whereabouts in Canada like, but that's irrelevant. Give us a little bit of insight in what conversion disorder actually is before we dive into the impacts of it.
Well, I'm so glad that you got it right this time, because the first time I was on the show, you had conversation disorder, and I had people sending me messages, Adam, and asking me if I had trouble having conversations, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh no, I think he misspelled conversion disorder, and conversion disorder is not really well known. There's 1 in 9 people that have conversion disorder because it is a severe disorder that is caused by severe trauma." Build up trauma after trauma after trauma. So the best way that the doctors described it to me is my body never had time to make peace. It never had time to get away from abuse. It was abuse from childhood, then abuse in marriage, and then abuse as an adult, neglect from my parents, a lot of betrayal. So my body just physically shut down. And there's no medical test out there that can that proves that there's something going on with the mind. So a lot of doctors will call you crazy, hysterical, overreacting, in your head. So, but it is a physical disorder that is out there, and we need to start bringing awareness to it. And I'm so glad, Adam, that you brought me back for the second time so we could get deeper into it. So it's a disorder it has physical symptoms. So it causes blindness, deafness, seizures, flare ups. Sometimes I have strokes in the middle of the night. So my face sags sometimes, speech impairment, tremors. There's a lot of things that it brings, but it's not 24/7. It comes and goes. It's like a war, right? It's like an abuser. They come and go. They're not there, boom, 24/7. So it comes out of nowhere. So I could be fine one day and the next morning wake up and not be able to even get out of bed, not even be able to walk, not even be able to speak. I have tools and tips that I've been using since I was diagnosed at the age of 31, and I'm going to be almost 50. So I've been living with it for that long. But before they diagnosed me with conversion disorder, it was MS. They were checking for multiple sclerosis because my body was shutting down. I was falling a lot. I'd have blind spots. Um, and my hearing is going, but that's from domestic violence. It's not helping that I have conversion disorder, but my deafness is from domestic violence. So my blindness is from genetics, but also the conversion is increasing the blindness, the speed of the blindness. So my left eye, I have less than a year left with it, and then I'll have to decide if I'm going to wear an eye patch or just a glass lens on my glasses. So right now I can see you guys barely from my left eye. My right eye, I see you guys. Um, but people don't see this, right? These are all invisible illnesses because they see glasses, they see me here. They don't see that I can't see you from one eye, you know? Uh, and this is why we need to bring the awareness, is because if we don't bring the awareness, how do we break the stigma on invisible illnesses? And mental illness is invisible. People might look at you and say, "Oh, you look good. You got no issues." And they don't know what you're going through. You might be on the brink of suicide. I've attempted suicide 9 times, and the good Lord doesn't want me. So I put it in my head, okay, I'm not going to try anymore because he doesn't want me anyway. So, so let's just find other solutions. Cry it out, get frustrated, journal, write, um, take a walk, go in the forest, scream, go in the bathtub, put your head under the water and just scream in the water. Nobody hears you. You know, there's other solutions that we can find. But conversion disorder is a disorder that is not easy to understand at all. And that's why I really wanted to bring it to your table, Adam.
I know Andrea wants to say something to that.
I agree. I truly believe that, we have this sense of those with limited knowledge and education that mental health looks a certain way, affects certain cultures, certain age groups. And that is the stigmatism and influence, as Adam would say, that the society portrays upon us. And Andrea has says that, that she experiences in her life. So I'm grateful for your transparency and vulnerability to say, mental health does not have a photograph, let alone a description. It affects everybody differently. And who's to say some other individuals with conversion disorder is experiencing the same symptoms as you do? And as I mentioned last week, I'm a very firm believer that anything in the medical holistic wellness society is not cookie cutter. It's really dependent upon the individual, where they are, where their perspective is, where their perception is, and again, go into where their focus goes. So thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
I like
Andrea?
that you said that, Andrea, the cookie cutter, because not one mental illness is the same. You know, it's just like not one abuse story is the same. There's similarities, but they're not the same. The pain is not the same, and not one outweighs the other. You know, somebody with conversion disorder might be going through a lot more of the flare ups than I am at this moment. My flare ups are usually when it gets colder or when it gets really hot. Then my body flares up. I swell up. It looks like I'm 9 months pregnant. And then the next day I'm like a size 10 again. So that's where you'll see that. You'll see that in my pictures on social media
I've
where I'm
noticed.
flared up. And then the next day I'm like, and everybody's like, how did you do that? Like, how did you lose all that weight in one day? And I'm just like, because I had a flare up the day before.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's one of the key components, Liz, is, I have, along with, excuse me, Andrea, the degrees of social work and psychology for me. And that's what the key component is. That's the most biggest frustration is we are attempting to believe that we're helping individuals by broadening a treatment for everyone where dependent on size, lifestyle, nutrition, economic and environmental stress completely plays a factor. So bringing this to the forefront that, and addressing it bluntly and forwardly that, mental health does not have what I would say is a profile, if you will. And one of the other stigmatisms is that mental health does not at all, any way, shape, or form impair intellect. It just modifies or coerces the behaviors, the mannerisms, and the perspectives of individuals. So thank you again for sharing.
Absolutely. Andrea?
I realize a lot of the time when we come on the show, we're trying to fix everybody. You know, we're trying to be there and be supportive, and peekaboo. Here we go, peekaboo. But at least I know when to. Okay, so I'm gonna jump back in where I left off, and what I was saying is that you having the courage to come on here and share, and I'm sitting here thinking, how can I help her? You know what I'm saying? When you're telling me about the physicalities and everything, and I realized just be a friend and be supportive, because I can't come put my arms around you physically, you know what I'm saying, and be supportive. So I'm starting to learn how to meet people where they are. And that's what you're helping me to do today, Liz. Thank you.
I think Liz just wants people to understand that conversion disorder. It's there. It's in the flesh and freaking impacts on a daily basis. Now, I don't know much about it. Well, I don't know much about a lot of things, but anyway, that's irrelevant. But but you just keep going. You just keep going. Come on, Jay. But yeah, you just have to be there, and I think that's what Liz wants. But that's just my opinion.
And that's the three major components in this world. When we look at it from a humanitarian level, understood, respected, and unconditionally loved. And if you put that in the forefront, then your mission and message is building a legacy of love. Absolutely.
You have to put in acceptance there.
No, well, it's acceptance. I would change acceptance to awareness. Because if you say acceptance, then some individuals in my line of work experience it saying, well, I've accepted it. I'm going to play the blame game and I'm going to use it as a crutch. You have awareness. You're aware of what you can do, what you have control over, what you don't have control over, and your mannerisms.
Right? That's really
go braid your hair.
That's really good, Andrea, because what you're saying is, and Andrea as well, she said, everybody wants to fix everybody. Everybody wants to say, oh, I got the magic pill. I can fix you. Take this, take that. Even doctors don't even understand the conversion disorder, And I tell them, why don't you just listen? Why don't you just see that maybe my body is hurting? Mm-hmm. My body is flared. And I have gone into doctors where my body is flared up and I'm swollen and I'm looking like I'm 9 months pregnant. And the doctor's like, okay, you need to lose weight. And then I'll go see her a month later and she's like, how did you lose all that weight? And I'm like, I was flared up when I came to see you. Like,
it's a matter of instruction, limitations, and what swayed information they're provided, or limited, or lack thereof, in other words. And that's what allowed me to go above and beyond and step out of that arena for my personal choice, because, I've said this on every show. I say it all the time. It's really marked who I am, is that, this is someone's life. This is someone's family member. It is not a statistic. It is not a grade. It's not a file or a report. And when you have the ability, I say it all the time. I said it last week and the week before, for those practitioners, for those in authority, for those who are providing treatment, go back to the drawing board. Why did you get in that industry? For the money? Or did you get in the industry to truly listen to people, empathize with people, and create solutions collaboratively? Because I don't know how any doctor in the world can treat someone without knowing or exhibiting the conditions that their patient has gone through. That's why there's a cliche in America that says the best Freudian slip. Oh my God. The best cops are crooks. Shut up, Adam.
There's a second giggle for everybody that's watching.
The best cops are crooks, because they've already known what plan of action, and they've already known what ways to go. They know the loopholes. They know what they're going to say. When I went into the, institution.
But you have to stop them.
But when they went into the institution.
Don't let them do it to you.
And murderers, I would come out. Oh, how dare you see that monster? Did you see what they did to those kids? Did you see what they murdered their family? What do I say? Do you have any ounce or knowledge what was going in their mind at that time? Do you have any ounce of knowledge what was going inside their four doors of their home? Because if they did, not that it's excused, not that it's permissible, but until you walk into shoes, you don't have, nor does anyone have the right to judge another person.
Yeah. It's self-advocacy. Self-advocacy. We have to be able to advocate for ourselves to the doctors, because most of them are in it for the money, and the ones that are real, they can't help everybody. So we have to stand up for ourselves. Self-advocacy. That's something that I'm learning more about. Working with people with disabilities. That self-advocacy is that's the biggest part, to get them to listen to you. Sometimes you just gotta let them know, look, I'm gonna give this to you in a document so that I'm swelling up, right, Liz? 1 minute she thinks you're losing weight, she's not paying attention. So let me give you a document with a paragraph telling you what's going on with me. I keep saying it to you. So now let's make it let's put it on a receipt that I'm telling you this. And then we could come back to it again and say, see, I've been telling you this. You see what I'm saying?
And that's a good point,
Just letting
Andrea.
you know, guys. Just letting you know, all these
Peekaboo.
people are saying this.
Peekaboo.
I'm saying nothing about the system. Not today. So
Yeah, we have to advocate for ourselves. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Miss Liz, you're great at advocating for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
oh, she is. She is.
Mhm.
She is. Hey, this is why she's got
question
the
everybody.
the tea.
Because of what I've gone through in my life, I question everybody. I question doctors. I question psychologists. I question, where is your empathy when you get into these fields? Where is the empathy with a friend? Where is the empathy with a family member who sees you going through this, and instead they're nagging you? They're like, oh, just get up, get over it. If you're having an emotional day because your body is tingling inside, that nobody else can see these tingles and these zappings, and you'll see glitches in my face from time to time, that I have no control over that. And a lot of people will tell me, Miss Liz, you don't smile much. I have no control over my nerves. So you guys can tell me smile all day long, but if my nerves say no, it's no. The
Right.
mind does what it wants with my body, and I have come to acceptance, like you said, Andrea, where I've come to accept and what I can control and what I can't control. I can't control the nerves of my body. My body controls it. So what do? Is I find solutions, and I talk myself into moving forward. Today's a hard day. Today's a rough day. Today I'm going to be emotional. Today I'm going to have frustrations because I can't move fast enough. I'm double thinking. The brain fog is there, and it's frustrating the hell out of me. I'll walk into the kitchen and I'll be like, why am I in the kitchen for? Then I'll walk into the tea room and then I'll be like, okay, I was just in the kitchen. I know I need to do something in the kitchen. What was it in the kitchen?
Brain fog.
Right.
You know?
Just out of curiosity, Miss Liz, as being a wellness and holistic specialist previous to this, have you explored or went to a neurologist to rule out neuropathy?
Yes, I've had 28 MRIs. I've seen specialists since the age of 2. I've been a pincushion. I hate doctors, and it's nothing towards any of the doctors out there. For any doctors that are listening, I just dislike when I have to go to a doctor, because I find the doctors will look at my file, and as soon as they see conversion disorder, and because of the diagnosis that it is on Wikipedia that you are crazy in the head, right away I am pushed to the side. Oh, you're just having a breakdown. It's in your head again. You're overreacting. You're oversensitive. So they never take the time to actually understand the case. And I put the blame on doctors for this, because one doctor will see what another doctor wrote and then just go with the notes instead of asking what is different that I can bring to you that this doctor didn't bring to you.
Right.
I'm
just curious, because I we'll discuss later, but yeah, I would love to provide a resource. Absolutely. Because I have seen in and outside of the medical offices, the morale has just completely changed. I mean, even if you, we're going to go there, Adam, even if you call for an appointment or have a concern to be seen, if they don't deem it emergency in their eyes with the paperwork or the files or the time, then unless you are, unconditionally bleeding, then it's not a product of their priority. And I believe that is something that needs to be addressed and changed from the people that they serve. Going back to what I said.
We can't speak for everybody either.
I'm sorry?
I said, we can't speak for everybody. I'm not, all doctors aren't the same.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I prefaced it in my line of work, in my experience. Absolutely. Not sure everybody isn't,
Everybody's
but at
not
the same token, I'm going to go there. It's also the accountability and responsibility of the patient. Are they going to advocate for themselves? Are they going to it? Because you know as well as I do, anybody on this planet, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Yep. And it isn't. And goes back to last week. Do you have the proper support system in your community to say, you know what? Enough is enough. How long do you want to live this life? My coach, Dr. Les Brown, says, are you going to make the rest of your life the best of your life or not? And I heard this meme the other day. Is it day one or one day I'll get there? And we need a strong, strong support system. And if we don't have it, then truth be told, are we looking hard enough and are we looking in the right places?
Well, I think it all comes down to advocacy, right? You Absolutely. Have to advocate for your body. It's like anything. It's not just with physical doctors. It's with psychiatrists and counselors. You have to advocate. If that counselor is not bringing you forward and helping you, guide you through the process, then you ask for a second opinion. You ask for a third. You ask for a fourth. You ask for a fifth. You keep asking until you get the answers. You keep pushing.
That's what I did with my son.
Yep.
Yeah, that I said this last week, Liz, and I'm going to say it again. We took, like, obviously, Andrea knows my experience when it comes to doctors, and it's, let's not go there. But, no, but we took, like, I rang 111, which is emergency line, because our new son has colic, which we've never experienced before, because we didn't with the other two. And I rang the doctors, and they come back and say, "Oh, it's just normal behaviour." I'm like, "No. I want a second opinion." Then we got a second opinion. The appointment a day later. Oh yeah, he's got colic, so we need to prescribe you with this. Which obviously the drops didn't work, but now we've got some gripe water, and he loves it.
Yeah.
And now he's I'm going to say it. He's shitting for England.
But I think that's the key purpose as why we're all here, is to be awareness, is to bring the voice of, look at all of us. We all are sitting here. There's 4 of us, and we all have our own story. We all have gone through something. We all live with mental illness in some form, whether it's a family member that has it or whether it's ourselves. You know, for me, I have a lot of issues because doctors have given me medication, but because of my ex-husband and his stupid nonsense poisoning me, the medications interact. Because he drugged me for so many years, the doctors don't even know what type of drugs he started giving me, because he was giving me street drugs and medical drugs. So they interact. So my body reacts to medication very, very easy. I have a lot of allergies towards medication, like morphine. I'm deadly allergic to morphine. And doctors only found out when they were giving it to me in the hospital. When I was hemorrhaging, they were like, "Oh my God, this woman's allergic to morphine." I started blotching all over, and they were like, "Oh, geez." So then they gave me something else. But it's because we don't know what was given to my body. So it's hard to find a solution. And this is where we've come to the point, me and the doctors, is when the body starts to shut down, walk yourself through it, talk yourself through it. Understand why your body is doing that. Is there stress around in your situation? Is there something causing the flare up? Is it something that you ate that you're not supposed to eat? I have a lot of food allergies, and a lot of foods that I'm allergic to are in everything. So I have no control. Sometimes that product, it might be the 9th or 10th ingredient, so it's not right at the top. So I don't have the allergy as high. Or if I know that food has something that I'm not supposed to have, but in order for everyone else to have something, I'll take a Benadryl. I'll take I'll take something to get over the allergy. My lips might swell up a bit. My kids think it's funny sometimes, but they're the ones watching out for me right away. They're like, "Mom, there's something in here. Don't eat it." And then I'll be like, "Okay." Like fish, I'm allergic to fish. But on Good Friday, out of respect, not because I'm religious, but out of respect and the upbringings of my grandparents, I eat fish. So I take Benadryl, but I eat one little fish stick. but my body still reacts. But I take the Benadryl in order to respect the upbringings and values that I was brought up with from my grandparents.
So you know what to do.
And that's what I mean. Like, it took years to find the tools and tips on what works and what doesn't work. Uh, and when I'm flared up, writing helps, and doodling, just scribbling, just taking a pen and just scribbling it out, because it's almost like it's releasing the tightness of my body. As I'm scribbling, the scribbling slows down. So it's almost like the mind is like just going like crazy, crazy inside and tight. So the scribbling loosens up the mind and that. So dot to dot books have helped me a lot too. So just bringing it to the dot, and then I'll go backwards, and then I'll take it and I'll take it all over, and then I make a different picture. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
So when you're flared up, how does it impact your self-identity?
Adam, you know this, and a few other people know this that really know me, is I also suffer from DID. I had voices for many, many years. And I got mad at my psychiatrist because when my voices slowly went away, I was like, you took my friends away. And the doctor was like, no, it's because you're getting stronger. You're able to handle and be capable of the stress and that. What happened was, because of so many different abuses and different people, I split myself up into nicknames that were given to me as a child and created these voices, created these identities. And as I went through therapy, over 35 years of therapy, and doing the EMD and all of that, the eye movement and hypnosis and stuff like that, I have found that I can control that as well. I try to stay away from that, and I try not to bring them up, because if I bring them up, then I turn into people and I don't remember stuff. I might have a conversation with you, and then you'll be like, well, you told me this. And I'll be like, I don't remember that conversation. I don't remember. And, and it's not because I'm trying to pretend that I don't know it. It's my mind just turns off. It goes somewhere. And that's a coping mechanism from being child abuse, from an early age. So.
Wow. Yeah, my daughter's like that. Yeah, my 10-year-old daughter's like that because she struggles to express how she feels. So her coping mechanism is she makes up these different characters, even though they don't exist. Like even tonight, like she told school about these couple of friends she's got, but these friends aren't real. And obviously, so I spoke to her after she calmed down, and I'm like, okay, write these friends down. So she did. And then I'm like, okay, do these represent how you feel? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, then, right. So I went one by one, and then right, I explained how they impact you, like what type of emotion do you show, and that's what she did. So how do we get around that? Because even I'm still learning about this.
Well, for me, one of my psychiatrists told me that was a coping mechanism, right? Is we don't know how to express ourselves, or we're being told to be quiet all the time. So we create these imaginary friends. We create these imaginary identities, and that, when I was younger, from the age of 12, I was diagnosed with manic depression, but that was because of abuse and eating disorder and stuff like I've been through a lot, but I don't like to. Here's my story. Feel sorry for me. Have pity for me. I don't like that. I like to use my voice as a change. I've been through a lot. Let me take my pain and let's make a change. Let's make a stance for turning the stigma on what each disorder is supposed to look like. It's just like everyone has this look for mental health. Oh, you got to be depressed. You got to be crying. You can be the happiest person out there and be hurting. So we need to break the stigmas on the different disorders and different diagnoses, and them diagnosing us through charts and how we feel. Maybe that day we're having a hard day when we do the test and you're diagnosing us with something else. I was diagnosed with 28 different disorders, and I was put on over 30 medications all at once. And I said no more, because I didn't even know that I had children anymore. I was having mental breakdowns. I was in and out of the hospital. I was shaking. I was rocking, you know, and I'm to the point where I'm just like, no more medication, no more. I want people to understand that this is what's going on with my mind. My mind is broken. The chemicals are unbalanced. It's the unbalancing of the chemicals in our brains, you know? And why do we always have to have these labels and titles? Can we not just say that our mind is broken? Our mind is, why do all these diagnoses? I had so many diagnoses at one time that I was calling them jams because there's so many different jams out there. Okay, you're going to diagnose me with this, diagnose me with this. And we finally slowly, with my psychiatrist and my counselors, is we slowly started knocking them off. No, she doesn't have this. No, she doesn't have that. No, she doesn't have this, you know? And then it was the final diagnosis of conversion disorder when I was 31.
I want to learn more about it, so I'm going to do some research myself. This is an interesting diagnosis that they have out there, and you're helping us to see it from a perspective of a person who's actually dealing with it. You're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people, because of the diagnosis that's on Wikipedia or on the internet, that you're crazy, it's in your head. A lot of people will say, Miss Liz, you're crazy. And I'm like, you know what? Call me crazy. At least you're recognizing that I have a disorder. Crazy is a good thing because you're actually paying attention. You're actually understanding because you don't understand. So it's crazy. It's crazy for you to understand that this is going on in my body and you can't find a test to prove it. So the word crazy doesn't insult me. It actually gives me the strength to know that you don't understand it either.
But Liz, doing the assessment to diagnose me as crazy.
I'm not doing any.
No, that's a joke. That's a joke. Go on, Andrea.
I'm just taking all this in. That's all right now because
I'm loving it. I really am loving it.
My there's just so many things I feel about this because it's because of the history of the mental health industry in the past and what it's come to the forefront. You know, Miss Liz, I served over 2+ more decades in the social work and psychology realm. And, you know, it's just, are we progressing? Are we degenerating? If you think about it in this society right now, you know, there is no topic or areas being discussed of solutions, areas of being addressed with individuals of such conditions, you know. And what really amazes me in the world today is that, you know, we focus on medical conditions and, you know, we have walks, we have fundraisers, we have nonprofits and all that stuff. That's all well and good. But what are the proactive steps that both bridge the gap from patient to practitioners? Where is that line? There's a huge gap in it, as well as the judicial system. You know, I've been a liaison for, you know, patients who were inmates or institutionalized. And when we cut the fat, if you will, and really get to a human conversation with anybody to educate one another. And what's happening is people want to just speak rather than to be heard and listened to. And when we start looking at society and that realm, you know, like I said, be toxic with, you know, stop being toxic with negativity. Media is ridiculous. And I don't play that game. I don't play that game. If you want to be toxic, like I said in the beginning, behind the scenes, when we said on, when Adam's like, I have some news, I said, if it's negative, count me out. You know, there was excerpt one time. I can't recall the exact details, so pardon me. You can look it up. Where Mother Teresa said, "I don't want to be part of a protest. I want to be part of the solution. Be proactive. Call me when you're doing something about it. Call me when you're doing something for it. I don't want to be the negative in that environment." And that's what I do. I don't go to media. I don't go to TV or radio or whatever. I consume and make a profitable investment, whether it's financial or even more valuable, my time of, all right, you got a situation, you got a condition. Show me all the odds, show me all the questions, show me all the opportunities that have been exhausted, and let's sit down and have a conversation rather than this way, that way, or what have you. Because, you know, my family says this all the time, and I absolutely love it. I don't know who the signature was, but excuses sound best to those who create them. You know what I mean? If you're not happy with your life situation, don't go put in the blame game. Don't blame it on government. Don't blame it on society. Don't blame it on your mom, your dad, your father, your sister, your brother. What are you doing in the mirror? And are you tallying, register, and logging things that you're actually taking proactive steps on what you're doing? And then reach out to individuals who have the condition, because like we said in the beginning, Miss Liz, it's not cookie cutter. Oh, well, you know what? I have this experience with this condition. This is what I've done to alleviate it. Have you explored this? This is what I've done. This is my lifestyle. This is my nutrition. Be bold enough and vulnerable and aware enough to ask questions, as you addressed earlier on. Back to you, Adam. Go ahead.
You know what? I want to read.
And sometimes you do have to protest. Sometimes you got to protest the doctor and what they doing and how they're doing it if it's not fitting you, right?
I don't know about that. I don't believe that.
I mean, that's a part of the process in my eyes. Is you have to be able to speak up for yourself, and you have to be able to protest against what, if it's not going well for you and what they prescribe. You have to be able to stand up for yourself. And yes, to speak out. Yep, there's a lot to that as well. That's just as proactive as anything else.
I agree with that to a certain extent. But if you are attacking the practitioner or saying the practitioner A, B, and C, and they're saying D, E, and F, you have to meet in the middle, even if it's to agree to disagree. Because if you come at it as an approach, hey, look, you don't know my body. They've already shut you off, just like you shut them off. You have to meet in the middle. This is what I've logged, as Miss Liz says. This is what I've done. What are your tactics? Let's meet in the middle.
Right. Well, I'm going to add to that, and I actually uploaded a post, but I'm going to say it, but I'm going to edit it a little bit. And it was actually words from Jay Alderton, and it basically saying you're going to be dealing with a lot of negative people today. They don't know that they're negative. They do not know what they are doing, and you're bringing that energy on is only going to make you feel bad. So if you smile, allow them to continue to be negative, they're just going to go off their way and be negative another way to someone else.
By raising your level and rising and uniting is not meeting the person or belittling yourself. Never ever put yourself, never, as my coach says, never ever ever give power to someone else on how you feel or how they should make you feel.
Exactly.
Someone's opinion of you does not have to become reality. And that's where it comes your control, your responsibility, your accountability.
And as well, I've learned that you should never share too much of your journey because people will take advantage of you when it comes to that.
But you're giving permission if you feel that way. Because how are you not being authentic and transparent? I can tell you everything in my life, A to Z. But if I fear or if I think people are going to use it, let it. Because that's my petrol to be better and be honest. I'm acting with integrity and vulnerability. You don't like it? You know what? Pause. Turn off. Don't be friends. That's not of my concern.
No. It's all about spreading the love and message.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about. This is why me and Andrea just get on so much.
Well,
You
and
annoys me, I annoy
Andrea
you.
brings
That's
up
how
a
it is.
good point, Adam.
Mhm.
Like, Andrea brings up a good point. You know, if we worry about what everyone else is thinking, everyone else is saying, "Oh, I have the magic pill," or a doctor, but we have to come to an agreement. We have to get to that point where this is not working, this is working. Okay, so let's do a little bit of this and let's do a little bit of that.
Yep.
Work together. I
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like doctors, but I still work with my doctors. I'm like, okay, you're gonna give me one pill. I'll tell you, I'll do half a pill.
Mhm.
I'm making an agreement. I will do half. Let's start with half. I'm not gonna start with a full one because let me build my trust up in that medication before I take the full pill.
And just side note,
Yes.
Miss Liz, you know this as anybody else, based on your disclosure, it takes 2 to 5 weeks to get fully in your system, and another 2 to 5 weeks to see how it plans. Not this game of 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Let's change it. Nothing's happened because just like our mind, you want to fix 20, 30 years of trauma in 3 months. It's not realistic, my friends.
Yeah.
You know what?
Trauma is not fixable. Well,
Well,
it is fixable, but I mean, it's not 100% healed. Anyone that
No.
says that they're healed from trauma is not fully working on their trauma
I'm gonna
because
say no.
I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on that. As a
See, I'm
trauma victim
32.
myself,
I'm
you know.
32 and I'm still dealing with the trauma from my teenage years. And
Mhm.
because there's a intensive and then there's a no external and internal. There's two lots of trauma you have to deal
Mhm.
with.
Mhm.
I think we get to a point where we're at a level of we can say, you know what, we've gone through trauma. It doesn't control me anymore. It doesn't hold me back anymore. I'm able to move forward. But I
Mhm.
mean, to be completely healed from like abuse from 20, 30 years of it constantly every single day. I've gotten
Mhm.
to the point where I've forgiven people who have hurt me, but I have done it for myself. I haven't
Mhm.
physically said to them, "Oh, come over and have Sunday dinner with me," and I say, "I'm sorry," and we're all friends again, because I'm not allowing you to enter that door again to hurt me again, to come back
Yeah.
and reoffend. I've been reoffended from an abuser. He went to jail, he came out, he reoffended me, and I got pregnant with his child. Like, no. So I've gotten to the point where I look at the situation, I look at the individual, and I say, you know what? This is on you. You figure it out. I forgive you. Move on. Let's have peace. I don't want to be fighting about it for the next 40, 50 years. You know, what you
Mhm.
did, if you know you in your heart you did wrong, just say sorry and move on. That doesn't mean we have to have dinner again together. It
And
just
this is
means,
what I
okay,
say to my kids all the time
Mhm.
because they're forever annoying each other. And yes, they've got that sibling rivalry. 1 minute, the best friends playing Tig together. Next, they practically want to kill each other. Not literally, by the way, guys, but they want to kill each other. So, and like they're always whinging about whatever it is. And I basically just said, whatever. He may have annoyed you, she may have annoyed you today, but if you keep hold of that grudge, you're going to come to realization that yes, they've annoyed you at that time, but you're just going to be annoyed at yourself.
I'd like to ask a question because this is really interesting. So, Miss Liz, you said that you and I just want to kind of go a next level lower, deeper, pardon me. So, if someone had a perpetrator, a predator, what have you, an abuser do something to you, you forgave them, you forgave yourself, and they want to come back into your life, what does that really mean?
it depends on the situation, because I try to understand why people abuse people. uh,
Mm,
was it something that they were given as a child? Is that a
right,
pattern? Is it a cycle? You
correct.
know, uh, I the people who have abused me physically, mentally, and psychology, and like they've put me in
Yeah.
psychiatric wards and everything. I look at them and say, what was in them that was hurting so much that they had to bring the pain onto me?
Right.
And I try to understand. Now, some people I will say, you know what? I can sit and have a coffee with you, or a cup of tea with you, but I don't want to do it every other day. You know what I mean? I will have the mutual respect if I'm in a situation, especially family reunions or stuff like that. I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't come because that person's there. No, I'm going to just distance myself and go and sit maybe further away and not take the focus off of the event, not take the focus off of that time for the other people that are around. But I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to move forward and say, oh, let's be best friends. Let's hug it out and let's make no. I'm going to keep my distance and I'm going to be respectful enough not to engage with that person who has hurt me.
See, I have an itch, if you will, with that, because yes, you're being respectful, you're being mindful of the event, you're being mindful of your own feelings. However, what I've learned, again, I can only speak for me. What I've learned is if I do distance myself, literally in reality, that is still giving the power over to that person for you to act a certain way. The reason I say that is because, again, I've been a victim of abuse and bullying. A lot of individuals live under the same roof as their perpetrators and prowlers. And so I would, in my personal experience, the way I believe is that if you forgive someone, you don't forget, obviously. However, not giving them a second chance, not giving them that opportunity and exploring. And I love what you do, Miss Liz, because not many people do this, is what you said, is put yourself in their shoes. Because as a social work and psychology industry provider, that's what I did. Somebody's mom, somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's sister. However, I am, kind of, I don't know what the right word is right now, but I'm not, yes. This is a sticky situation, because if you're changing your mannerisms for that individual, that's still giving them permission and power over you. Do you understand that? Does that make sense?
But you could be changing it for yourself, for your own protection too, right? That could be a reason.
Protecting? What are you protecting? You already forgive. You already met them, and you
If
already.
you
What are you
forgive
protecting
someone,
yourself?
look, you know what? You don't have to put up with nobody's mess. You understand me? Because other people do that. Someone could come and try to drag you down with their negativity. Do you participate? Yeah, you have the right, whether you want to participate in it or not, right? That's what I'm saying.
Andrea, I don't give them the power. I just make the boundaries clear that I'm not going to be your best friend. I have forgiven you, and I wish you peace, and I hope that you find hope in your heart, that you find what will fix you. That doesn't mean that I have to be in your life. That doesn't mean that I have to agree with the lifestyle that you're living. Somebody who has sexually molested me and went and got to therapy and everything and changed their life and everything, I look at that situation and I say, thank goodness they actually took the steps to heal themselves. But that doesn't mean that I have the trust. There's addition. It's not about giving them the power. It's the trust. They have broken the trust. Whether you forgive them or not, the trust is broken. That trust train is gone. I'm not going to give you forever.
Wow. That's where I'm different. But that's okay. That's okay. Everybody's different. There's no right or wrong. Absolutely. Well, you are definitely, Adam.
Obviously, with me, my parents abused me growing up. Now I've gone 5 years without talking to my own narcissistic mother. Do I forgive her? I thank her for putting me through all that abuse, because growing up, I didn't have that identity. I didn't have that voice. Now, no one can shut me up.
Right.
But
do you have do you how do you have you put yourselves in her shoes that her son doesn't talk to her? If the situation was that your children, when they, God forbid, they grow up and something happens and they don't talk to you. Honestly, this is what I'm talking about. Is I'm just talking about, again, from personal experience and what I believe and so forth, is that, you know, life is too short to
the reason
people like, you know,
reason I've moved on from her, and you know what, that was the best decision I ever made in my life, was to move on and kick her out of my life, because it was constant abuse, persistent. She got me on alcohol from like 11 years old, and indoctrinated me into believing alcohol was the answer to absolutely everything, which I know is wrong. And obviously she took opportunities away from me. It's like, you can't have people like that in your life. And now I've come to realization, those kind of people don't serve me. They don't value me. I need people around me that do serve and value me, and support what I'm trying to do, like you three.
That's right.
So it's changing my perspective on things. Does that answer it?
And I think the word trust is something that we all need to understand, is that it takes time to build. And if you're building it and you're breaking it, it takes a lot for it to come back. And if you're a repeat breaking trust over and over, once you've been given so many chances, you've taken their apologies for so many times, you get to a point where you're just like, you know what? I just can't trust you. I don't hate you. I just can't trust you. I can't accept that you continue to abuse. You continue to do this. And that doesn't mean that you go and start hating people, name calling people and putting people down and all of that. You just say, you know what? The trust is broken. The train, there's a different train for you to go. You know?
Wow.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. I mean, it's a degree to disagree, because it's just, you know, so many people will say, well, who gives you the right to judge other people? You know, maybe they don't know how to gain your trust. Maybe they aren't aware of it. Maybe they have conditions that you're not aware of, you know, because
how can you call that judgment?
Because you don't know what they went through.
But trust is not a judgment. It's you're building trust with people. So when you're breaking that and you're making that continuous breaking of the train, you have to get to a point in your life and say, you know what, this is not benefiting either of us. If I just keep enabling you, it's like an addiction. If I just keep saying you're allowed, I trust you. We're not fixing anything.
It's not an opportunity of allowing them, but a lot of people don't. And I don't know what your experience is, but a lot of people don't address it to the individual, or a lot of people, there's a very select few percent that put their shoes in that individual's place. Because here's the situation, what you have to also be mindful. And Andrea, I'm glad you brought that up. It's not judgment. It is judgment, because here's a situation where you have your life and your journey that you're going. If someone is unable to see that, someone is unable to know their vision, understand, or have the incapability of realizing the accountability and responsibility of what they're doing, and you don't start understanding or meeting them or working on regaining their trust if they want to come back in, then you're making the choice of not trusting them, when you're basic, in my perspective, and I want to say this because I know a lot of people are going to ruffle feathers. That's okay. That's what this topic is about. Then the question is, then you are also kind of going back to when people didn't trust you. You know,
and I'm
okay
with that, because
I'm cool with that.
Everyone to like me. I'm okay with people not liking me. You know, and we all have
But
our
if people want to come
and-
back in your life and you're not allowing them or helping them come back into your life, how is
That's a
that?
judgment. You're making a judgment right there.
That's what I just said.
How do
And
you
you,
know? How
that's
do you
what I
know
just
that
said.
they're not allowing? How do you know that they're not allowing them to come back in their life? And the thing is, you know what? It's what people, however they treat us, and we keep letting them do it. Well, we're showing them how to treat us. I believe in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, shall we move on? I think Andrea just loves ranting. I think she does.
No, I'm just
No, I know.
speaking what yeah. Again, I preface everything with personal experience because I'm different. That's okay.
Well, and I think we're talking from, I know I'm talking from personal experience when I'm sitting here. I can speak on my own personal experience. Yes, that's right. I think that's what we're all doing. Right?
It is. This is all what we're doing. We're all speaking, not because of what qualification we've got or what knowledge we've got. We're all speaking from experience. And that's greater than anything ever. But anyway, Liz, I think we've gone over the hour mark.
This was wonderful.
It is.
I enjoyed it.
I think we should wrap this up. Next week.
Well, Liz, I'm willing to learn more from you.
Of course. Well, next week, obviously, we did touch on domestic violence a little bit tonight. That's our topic next week, Andrea.
Yes, I have to talk to you about next week, but go ahead. Yep.
The topic is creating healthy relationships after domestic violence. That's the topic. So yeah, thanks Liz for coming on, and we'll wrap this up, and please share this all.
You had an announcement,
Share,
but okay.
Subscribe.
Yes, go on, Andrea, share your announcement.
You did.
What are you on about?
All right, never mind. You said at the beginning of the show I have something to say, but I'll say it at the end.
Yeah, I'll do it off camera.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Liz. A pleasure to connect.
Well, thank you for having me, guys.
See you later.